amazing ride, pretty much the best ride in a training shoe on the market. The scores are in, and this is a full review of the Mizuno Neo Vista. But before we get into it, a massive shout out to my #1 running store, the Running Company at Geelong. I've got a link to their website in the description. Make sure you go check out that and check out all their running gear, and also snag yourself a pair of these as well. And also guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Right, so checking out our quick specs here. Now, the Neo Vista is a neutral super trainer. So coming in at a super price in Australia, $320. So that's getting up there, $180 in the US. Now, in the weight, 266 grams or 9.4 ounces in a men's size 9. Now, in the stack, 44.5 in the rear, 36.5 in the front. That's giving us a 8mm drop. Now, with the scores, with the price, it's certainly up there in the price. It's certainly up there with the high-end super trainers. Are you getting any value with this shoe? Well, I would still like this shoe to be a bit cheaper, but I still think it represents pretty good value. 7 out of 10. And in the weight, well, it actually doesn't feel like a 9-ounce shoe, especially on the foot. It feels quite light on the foot. It doesn't feel heavy or clunky. 7.5 out of 10. So in our upper here, the material that they're using is a stretch knit material. So it is a booty design shoe, meaning it is all just the one piece. There's no separate tongue or anything like that. So to get your foot in it, you've just got to stretch the booty apart and get your foot in it like so. But in the heel counter, there is no structure at all in the heel counter. Very, very flimsy. And there's also, interestingly, no padding in the shoe, which I was quite concerned of when I first looked at the shoe. We've got a really high Achilles flare here and a pull tab and a really high looking tongue here. As I said, the tongue is incorporated into the shoe. Lacing system, pretty unique. They've got cables sewn into the upper, and they just weave the laces around the cables. You don't really need to do these laces up, because this upper, it's stretchy where it needs to be, and it's also structured where it needs to be. So in the lockdown department, I was quite concerned. However, this shoe has got an excellent lockdown. There is no movement in this shoe whatsoever, because it just hugs the midfoot down nice and tight. So in the fit, overall in the length, definitely going true to size. In the width department of the toe box, I'd say it's normal. However, it's more of a snug fit overall, and that's just because of how tight this upper needs to hold your foot down to get the lockdown. So scores wise in the upper, there is not too much to complain about here. On first looks, I was definitely concerned with the lack of padding. I was concerned about the lockdown. I think it looks a little bit goofy, but apart from in the looks department, I really don't have an issue with this upper. It's super comfortable, 9 out of 10. So in our outsole here, we got full rubber coverage with this really soft and sticky outsole rubber. So obviously great in all conditions, however, definitely showing signs of durability, and that's my only concern with the outsole rubber. Pretty much worn it flat up here on the top and also down here. And also what we're going to find in the outsole is this huge cavity, or this huge crevice through the shoe. And you can see that exposed glass fiber plate there, but that just adds to the ride of the shoe. That nice soft rubber, nice big crevice, adding to this really soft plush ride. But scores wise, my only issue here is the durability, but I'm very happy with the outsole, 8.5 out of 10. And in our midsole here, so they have got their brand new foam, Mizuno Energy NXT. Now this foam, really soft, really springy, very, very nice. So they've got 2 layers of this foam. So they've got a top layer here, and then under that layer they have got their glass infused nylon wave plate. So that's full length. That's giving this shoe a little bit of rigidity, but there is still a little bit of flex in it, so it's definitely not like a carbon plate. And then under the wave plate they have got their bottom layer of the Mizuno Energy NXT. Now geometry wise, they have got their smooth speed assist technology in this shoe. That's the same tech as what they use in their performance series, so the Rebellion series, the Rebellion Pro, and also the Flash. However, the geometry in this one, so the rocket geometry, is a little bit more toned down tuned down to everyday running. So it's not as aggressive in the forefoot, and it doesn't have as an aggressive heel bevel. And how does all that tech translate into the ride? Well, this ride is absolutely amazing. So it is very soft without being too mushy and without being sloppy. It's extremely smooth. Probably the smoothest transition in any shoe that I've ever tried. This foam has got just amount of bounce, just amount of spring, just the amount of pop, just the amount of softness. It's just a great formulation of what you want in a shoe. You can tell it's just finely tuned for your everyday running, and it's certainly quite capable if you want to pick up the pace a little bit. But what highlights for me is just how this geometry works with the foam and how efficient it is for me. So it really suits my foot strike. I can run in this thing all day. My foot does not get fatigued. By being a really soft shoe as well, you'd think you would have some concerns in the stability department. However, I've had no stability issues in this shoe. It's got a nice wide platform just to keep you anchored onto the road. But overall, amazing ride. Pretty much the best ride in a training shoe on the market. I absolutely love this shoe. Love the ride. 9.5 out of 10. Right, so best shoes for me, certainly this is obviously designed for your everyday training, and it's obviously going to put some fun in your everyday runs. So your easy paces, your recovery runs, and your long runs is where this shoe is really going to sing for you. And as I said before, it's quite capable if you want to pick up the pace a little bit. So if you've got some pickups or you want to go up to tempo pace, this one is fine for that. What I wouldn't do, I probably wouldn't race in it. It's probably a little bit on the heavier end, and it's probably a little bit too soft. It's not quite responsive enough just to use it for your threshold and your race days. Right, similar shoes out there, awesome competition. So if you are considering the Neo Vista, also have a look at the Hoka Skyward X. Same claim to what the shoe is, however, it's a very different experience. That one feels a lot higher off the ground, and it feels a lot firmer. That one's probably going to suit a heavier runner. I'm also going to mention the New Balance Super Comp Trainer V2. It's probably more similar to the V1 than the V2, but yeah, the Super Comp Trainer series. So that one's always got a nice high stack. It's got a carbon plate in it, so that one's going to feel nice and soft, pretty much like this one, but I think this shoe is much more efficient than that shoe. And the last but not least, I'm going to say the king of all the super trainers, the ASICS Superblast. So same price range. The Superblast is going to be a little bit more firmer than this one. It's also going to feel a little bit more traditional, so it's not as rocketed. So overall here, there really isn't too much not to like about this shoe. Apart from the price, yes, it is expensive. It's over $300 for a training shoe. I think that's a little bit too much. I'd love it under $300. However, I understand where they're coming from. They've got to be competitive with the other super trainers on the market, and especially, you know, that Superblast, which this one is challenging with. But yeah, apart from that, it's got amazing scores, as you can see there. Apart from the price, I think this shoe probably would have been up to the top. It's my favourite ride in a training shoe that's pretty much ever been released. It's so enjoyable. It's so fun. Would I buy this shoe again? Yes, I would. It's got a place in anyone's rotation, if you ask me. So, of course, it's a definite buy from me. But anyway, guys, that is it from me. If you got any questions about the Neo Vista, please drop them in the comments below. And anything else you want to add in the comments, drop it in. Enjoyed reading those. But anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you